Erik Ten Hag has gone ahead to acknowledge Kambwala. If at all, you know, he's 19 years of age and he made his debut against West Ham and really had a very good execution into that game. I mean, this us conceding 2 goals, but he got everything right in that entire game. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How is your boxing day really taking you? This is the United Matters channel where we bring you 100% Manchester United. And right now, we are going to see what Ten Hag has gone ahead to say about Kambwala, the return of Amad Diallo and Rafael Varane, and what he had to say about the team of Aston Villa, obviously, a game that's going to be played later in the night, you know. So, where should we start? We thank God for the gift of life, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. Let's go straight into the action-packed video as far as Erik Ten Hag has gone ahead to say certain things about the players of Manchester United. Let's start off with Kambwala and what Erik Ten Hag really has to say about this young prospect coming in through the various ranks of Manchester United. When asked about Willy Kambwala, he said he has shown he has the capabilities. You can see he has a very bright future. Of course, he has to work on himself, but you can see his potential and we are very pleased with his performance. Willy Kambwala, very, very good guy. You saw him against West Ham. He got everything right. He closed down and he's into a perfect fit, you know, of a central defender that can really break through into the first team and obviously dominate into that central defense. And one thing I was happy about Willy Kambwala was that we've seen Erik Ten Hag for the very first time get in a defender from the academy side. You know, we know he has gone ahead to bring in Kobe Menu, Hannibal, Garnacho, right, from the academy, and all those players have gone ahead to be given a chance. But in the crisis that we had of us not having enough players at the club of Man United, especially in the central defense, Ten Hag had not even thought about it, that maybe he would bring in Kambwala to obviously get us going. But guess what? He got us going in the game of West Ham because Rafael Varane was away, Lisandro Martinez was away, and Lindelof was away, plus Harry Maguire. And he never wanted to play Luke Shaw in the central defense because Luke Shaw went ahead to make us concede a goal. I think like 2-3 goals against Newcastle, against Bournemouth, and against which other side, you know. So the manager really got to know that he needs to obviously find himself in a better situation that will obviously get us going, and he obviously went in for the academy guy. And I would love to see him play more and more and more and more and more and more of the games, because I really want to see academy players really make it into the first team. Do you know why? Because they're having a manager who is really good at doing this. He's a manager, when he trusts you, he gives you all the courage and the backup for you to obviously go ahead and really do the needful. So that is Willy Kambwala for you. And at any time, you'll obviously think that he's really one of those prospects that will ever come to obviously shock the world and really take the team or take the side of Man United to where they deserve to be. So that is Willy Kambwala for you, and Ten Hag has gone ahead to acknowledge him, but he has told him the same words he told to Garnacho, that you've gone ahead to get into the first team, but to get in here and obviously be where you're supposed to be, you need to put in the best performances possible. And this was his game. This was his game by numbers versus West Ham. He had 92 touches, 89% passing accuracy, 75 out of 84 passes completed, 3 clearances, 3 ball recoveries, 2 long balls completed, 1 block, you know. And I never saw him get anything wrong. That's why you see to it that Ten Hag has gone ahead to acknowledge him and has gone ahead to give him the bragging rights as a player. But as any young player, that is your hugest you can call it, that is your hugest happiness that will ever come to you at the age of 19. If you come through the team of Man United, you are really doing great. And remember, there is a guy known as Johnny Evans who also came in through and really made it, you know, made it for Manchester United at a young age. And I think Ten Hag really knows exactly why he brought this guy here. I think he really has a lot to obviously tell him, you get, and he's like showing him that please, you can obviously become a player, you know, like Johnny Evans. Remember, Johnny Evans made his debut on the 26th of September 2007, you know, and let me see, how old was he? Because 2007, those are 26 years. Those are 16 years back, right? So right now he's 35. He also 19. So John Evans is the best example to obviously show to Kambwala, and I think Ten Hag will obviously tell John Evans, go and talk to that lad, how you went ahead, obviously make it into the starting 11 of Man United, and you really dominated. Remember, John Evans was playing with the likes of Nemanja Vidic and so on and so forth, so he went ahead to put in a very good shift in there for you. And for the person of his caliber, you really understand that he's going to be so very important to groom that young lad known as Kambwala, and John Evans comes in through at the very best side possible. So for me, I'm really excited about Kambwala, and I don't know whether today Ten Hag is going to give him a go, because Rafael Varane is back, but I would love to see to it that he gets more playing time for the club of Manchester United. And the moment I saw him make the bench when you're playing Liverpool, I got to know that he's really great. I had already gone ahead to read about him, that he's really one of those players that I'm going to hate to prove Erik Ten Hag, and is performing very well, and he might be the next prospect coming in through from the academy. And the beauty of all this is that ever since Erik Ten Hag came in through, he has gone ahead to really trust Garnacho. You see Facundo Pellistri, because Facundo Pellistri and Amad Diallo are counted as academy players for the club of Man United, because when they came in through, they first put them in the academy, right? And they are 18 years of age. You remember that very well, before they made their debuts for the club of Manchester United. So you can count those three. Then there is a Kobe Menu. You can now add on Kambwala. So 5 players in. You get 5 players in his second year, meaning that he has more to obviously surprise us with as a manager of Man United. But as I've gone ahead to obviously talk about him, he might not be in favor to start against Aston Villa, because Erik Ten Hag, on who can return against Aston Villa, he told us that I think Rafael Varane will return, and for the rest, maybe Amad Diallo. We will see how far he is. He has trained now for 2 weeks. They are probably the ones who may be on the return. Now, Rafael Varane returning is the best news that I'll ever want to get, because you put Rafael Varane in that game of West Ham, you know that you're really having some good command in the central defense, and that's what this guy gives you. Command is really one of those that you will always get each and every time you're having Rafael Varane in the central defense. However much I like Kambwala, but you tell me on Kambwala and Varane, who do you start? I obviously start Rafael Varane, because he commands that defense very well. And when you're playing against Aston Villa, you need the player of that caliber. A team that is so high in gear this season, though they've gone ahead not to perform well away from home, they deserve this. They deserve a player like Rafael Varane. Then he has gone ahead to talk about Amad Diallo. This is a player I miss. This is a player I miss, and I know exactly what he brings on the table. This guy is very talented, and he obviously does a lot for the club of Manchester United. And we've gone ahead to miss him a lot. Got injured during the preseason and is now back, and we just can't wait to see how things are obviously going to pan out and really take us to where we deserve to be as a club of Manchester United, especially as far as competing with Anthony is really concerned. You see to it that there is a drop-off when Anthony gets off. You know, every time you're really having a player who is really good, like Amad Diallo, playing with the left foot and playing with playing on the right, attacking side of the midfield, that means you'll have a lot to offer to your opponent and really oppose him well, because if your opponent comes in through, if your opponent comes in through and you get off Anthony, then you add on the other player called Amad Diallo. Even if he plays for like 15-20 minutes, you'll know that it's really gonna be hard time for your opponent, because Amad Diallo will create lots and lots of chances. He'll invert well into the midfield, and he's not a selfish player. He only shoots when he really has to shoot, and his shot at goal is really very important. So that's why I'm excited about his return, and I just can't wait to really see him return on this game. But if at all he makes the squad of Man United, that will be very, very, very amazing for the player of Amad Diallo. But he won't be with us for long, because he has to go ahead and really play into the African Cup of Nations. And if at all I'm Ivory Coast, I have no reason to obviously call Amad Diallo. Let him settle into the team. Let him settle into the team of Manchester United, because you are not going to start him in all games, and he's just recovering from injury. You know, Erik Ten Hag doesn't want to hurry him, and I think he's doing it maybe deliberately to see to it that he gets himself the best for this player. And that's why you see to it that the Casemiros are back on the grass, but the manager is not playing them. He knows exactly what he wants. So that is it coming in from Erik Ten Hag. And lastly, we have what he has to say about Villa. He says Villa are a different team to West Ham. They are in a very good form, and they are a very good team. If you create chances, you have to take them if you want to win the game, because otherwise you are not winning. That's clear. Obviously, it's very hard to see to it that a team can dominate the game of football for the full 90 minutes. And we saw it against West Ham. We had the domination, but in the due course of that domination, when we had the chances, we never made them count. We had like 3-4 chances of us really putting ourselves ahead, but we didn't. We didn't. So that's what Erik Ten Hag is talking about, that you need to obviously finish those chances, because if you don't finish your chances, then your opponent will utilize them. So for that, I'm in support of Erik Ten Hag, that these players never kill off chances. And it's one of the things we should obviously embark on a lot today against Aston Villa, that however good Aston Villa is, we are going to get ourselves going. That is it. And we only have to do one thing. And that one thing is simple. We are going to create chances. Can we kill off those chances? Can we kill off those chances? Because that's the most important bit of it all. Killing off these chances is the most important bit of all. If at all we don't kill them off, then the rest won't really go into our favor. So we wait and see how that is going to pan out. But I would like to confirm to you that this is the United Matters channel. Your thoughts onto Ten Hag acknowledging Kambwala are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Rafael Varane and Amad Diallo's return? Should Erik Ten Hag start Kambwala today, or he should start Rafael Varane in that central defense? And lastly, do you agree with Erik Ten Hag that you need to kill off your chances to win games? All that and more into the comment section below. Rock and David remains my name. We sign out. See you later. Happy Boxing Day, the Christians. May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. We are.